That was the Cassie summon.
Oh.
I'll take it. I deserve that.
It's better than what you get from the kids.
Yeah, for real. They're so mean to me.
Everybody ready? Everybody ready? Okay, we're not going to do jumping jacks, but we are going to stand for the pledge. So if you would join me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everyone to the Board of Directors and Citizens Advisory Committee, Recycling and Reduction of Porter County meeting for March 18th, 2026. We've just said the pledge. Could we please do roll call?
Of course. Commissioner Biggs, Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Regnitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Sims,
Present.
Mayor Bonta, Councilmember Geishurst,
Here.
and Town Council President Tunn. I'd like to continue, as this is a joint meeting, to also call out our CAC members. I have CAC member Baroon, CAC member Breidinger,
Here.
CAC member Brettel, CAC member Dalton.
Here.
CAC member Ritter Sass. CAC member Garcia Brado. And CAC member Doctor. We have a quorum for our CAC, and we are waiting for a quorum.
And we are waiting for a quorum. We do have someone else coming. Commissioner Morales will be joining us, so we will have a quorum.
We can't do anything official until we.
I know we cannot do anything
Okay.
until. So, but I thought that we could do your introductions, and then it would be great if Walt could talk about the debate.
Sure, of course.
So,
Start. Yep, we can absolutely start. I know we'll get going onto all of the CAC appointments, but every year, usually since it's our first meeting as a district, we just like to introduce our district staff who is present. So right now, who obviously I'm your executive director. I have Jane Jones right here, who's our assistant director, and our
can you give names?
yeah, Jane Jones. Yes, of course. Who is our assistant director. Sitting right behind Jane is our operator, Steve Dolak. He is the one who oversees all field operations. And I know Chuck Stockham is somewhere probably behind me. He's in a black shirt, and he assists Steve in the field. So many times you see them out in different directions. And I know Sarah Tubbs is really behind me. She is our public relations coordinator. And then our one other, Allison, is off. Ruby is sitting behind you guys as well. Ruby is our administrative assistant who answers the phone and handles a whole bunch of other stuff.
And Randy.
One, two. I have Ellen, a captain who is also a part-time office administrative staff. And then some more. We actually in the audience have Randy Reeder, who's our street superintendent from Portage. So we have we have a very diverse group to be here.
Well, I appreciate all the CAC members that took time out of their busy schedules to come and join us today. Thank you so much. Okay, we cannot do any approvals. On the policy and nepotism, is that something we have to vote on, or are you talking about it? Talk about it then?
What I was just going to say, it is literally just a note that annually every year, this is a policy resolution the board adopted in 2012, and every year the board has to sign off on it. All of you have signed off on it. I just know that usually annually we acknowledge it in one of our meetings, just that it is being, informing our elected officials they have to.
I think we will ultimately vote on the slate of the CAC appointments, but we do have a new appointment. Is that person here?
That person is here. We're very excited. We just learned Commissioner Morales has appointed Miss Nicole Doctor, so she is off to the side. So
can we have Nicole come here
or do you want her to talk in the microphone? Yeah, if you can come up here and
so we can see her. We can't see her very well from here.
Try to make this seat. Just make sure you please speak into the microphone.
Hello, I'm Nicole Doctor.
There you go.
So how did you come to be appointed?
I filled out the application that was sent out from the recycling district, and I got the call last week I got an email, excuse me, from Commissioner Morales, and I accepted the appointment. So I'm excited to be here and get a little bit more involved in Porter County. I've lived here for 30 something years or so excited to be involved.
And what did you say on your application that you were chosen? Tell us a little bit about your interest in recycling.
Just very interested in the environment, recycling. I really enjoy animals, so of course that is part of why we are doing some of our efforts is for our environment, including animals, birds, etc. I have been an avid recycler before it was trendy to be recycling. Reusing water bottles, recycling my plastic bags from the grocery store, not using plastic bags from the grocery store anymore, using reusable bags. I've been to many of the events put on by the recycling district, from Earth Day to probably 15 years ago. I went to a talk in Chesterton about how to increase your recycling efforts, do curbside recycling. So just enjoy it overall, I guess. So just happy to be here and learn more and
Great.
see how I can give back to my community.
Great. Well, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
Thanks.
We appreciate it. Okay. I know you're anything in old business. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say what I could probably do just for the sake of the meeting. I know we are on a time crunch too. I could probably jump to the recent upcoming events towards the end, if you don't mind. Just so that the board knows, we did open up our compost sites this Monday during the snowstorm. So thanks to Steve and Chuck, who were removing the closed signs crazy snowstorm. That also extended our Valparaiso sites to hours Monday through Saturday, 8 to 5. So now the Portage site is open and the Boone Grove site is open as well. I know at the last unofficial meeting, Sarah talked a lot about Earth Day, which is scheduled for Saturday, April 18th. We're excited. We hope you guys can pop by and attend. There's a lot of great things happening during that day, from Humane Indiana, the magic shows. Something new this year is we're actually offering a Fix-It Fair.
A what?
A Fix-It Fair. So people can bring in a few, smaller items, computer or VCR, a lamp. Lamps are really popular, and they have a slew of fixers to take care of it, and they'll do it on site. So we're excited about that. Greg has generously offered to represent his Oddfellow Grade group, and he'll be our bike collector. So if you have any bikes on your property that aren't being used, they take them and fix them and give them back to the community. So a lot of different reuse and repurpose things happening. We'll be celebrating International Compost Week again, the week of May 4th through 9th. And what that is it's literally celebration of the week, but the municipalities, Portage and Valpo, both are generous, and they provide an operator in their timing, and they will load compost to their residents during a certain schedule during that week for free, or availability. Like for Portage, it's you have to call and make an appointment. So during that week, they have scheduled hours. The operator will be there. For Valpo, it's just no charge. So
and then you recommend you get there early because you run out.
Yes. And it's a limit per day. I know the first year when I started, Steve told me carry people back up on the in Valpo. He said they back up on 1:30. I said, "You're kidding me. It's compost." I couldn't believe that we had to take the service truck out there and have our flashing lights on to make sure people slow down, because you think you bring a truck and a trailer, that drive isn't that long. When you add 10 trucks and they're lined up, and people line up waiting for their compost to be loaded. So very excited for it. And then along the same lines, we have our first hazardous waste event, which will be Saturday, May 9th at the Expo. And I cannot believe we're 2 months and counting to that event. So one new thing, we'll get into this later, but this is not official. So as you learned last year, we took paint, latex paint, for the first time at our hazardous waste events in probably 8 to 10 years. And what we learned along the way is Porter County residents have a lot of paint they want to get rid of. Unfortunately, our hauler that we utilize only landfilled that material. So it's not repurposed, it's not reused. And the rough estimate was it was about 80,000 pounds of latex paint that was collected last year and landfilled. That cost us almost $50,000. So we are nixing the latex paint for our continued hazardous waste collections. We will be offering a separate in this agenda today. There is actually a proposal from a quote from another business out of Ohio that actually recycles and repurposes latex paint, and it's at a fraction of a cost. But I am sure if you are in contact with your constituents, you're going to hear a lot about a lot of residents upset that they cannot bring latex paint. Number one, latex paint actually is not hazardous, but just as a convenience, we collect it. I can't tell you how many people sat in line and told me, I will pay you guys more. I'm so happy you finally got this paint out of my basement for 25 years. I said, you realize you probably could have put it in the trash can? There's no paint in the can. And they said, we'll pay you to take it. I was like, well, okay, good to know. But I was stunned at the end of the season how much paint was collected and how much it cost us to get rid of it. So
Carrie, did they disclose that it was going to end up in the landfill?
yeah, they did.
Okay.
We just didn't expect that much.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You know, I mean, they said that they was going to go to be thrown away. So yeah. So
Well, can we note for the record that Commissioner Ed Morales is now present? We now have a quorum, correct?
yes. Thank you.
And we are now at the board reorganization chair position.
Yep. So annually, what happens is would be our first, as this is our first official meeting of the year. We have to assign who would be the chair and the vice chair. So usually, amongst each other, you elect normal voting to assign a chair and a vice chair. So,
Do we have a nomination for the chair?
I nominate Barb Rignitz.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to nominate me as the chair. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, sign. Motion carries. Vice chair position, I nominate Jim Tunn. He did indicate to me that he would like to be the vice chair again. So, and he really wanted to be here, but he had a speaking engagement. So,
I'll second that.
alrighty, we have a motion and a second to nominate Jim Tunn as vice chair. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Now, we need to vote on the slate of the Citizens Advisory Committee appointments. Do you want to just go through all, please?
yep, absolutely. So I have received a recommendation from each member. Commissioner Biggs recommended Ann Barone, Mayor Bonta, Walt Bredinger, Jim Tunn, Emily Brettel, Commissioner Regnitz, Cassie Dalton, Councilmember Sims, Nora Ritter Sassy, Councilmember Geis Hurst, Toya Garcia Bredo, and Commissioner Morales, Nicole Doctor.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Citizens Advisory Committee appointments. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Once again, welcome, you guys. Awesome.
What did you say?
I said welcome.
Oh.
Once again.
And again, we really do appreciate it. The Citizens Advisory Committee actually is an extension of the board, and we really appreciate all the work because there are times that, I mean, obviously we're all the elected officials, we don't have time to do the kinds of research, and so we really appreciate the fact that there are people that are really dedicated and want to do some further investigation and research and bring those ideas back. And we will be sharing a little bit about that soon. Okay, we have the approval of minutes for December 11th. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve December 11th, 2025 minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We now have approval of financials. Can we do all of these together? Clay, or would you prefer we do them separately?
I would say
So first, we have December 31st, 2025 financials. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the financials for December 31st of 2025.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve December 31st, 2025 financials. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have January 21st, 2026 financials. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve January 21st, 2026 financials.
I apologize. That should be January 31st. I'm sorry.
Okay.
January 31st. It's all right.
You have 31st?
You want to revise your?
Oh.
You want?
Yeah, I'll amend my motion for January 31st, 2026.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve January 31st, 2026 financials. All in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have, we need approval for February 20th, 2026 financials. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion for February 28th. Correct?
Yes, sorry.
2026?
It's not legal.
It was a typo.
Do we have a second?
Oh, could be.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve February 28th, 2026 financials. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Proclamation.
This is just a reminder that last year this board adopted the International Compost Awareness Week proclamation, just stating that we celebrate the pretty much the second week of May. So it's May 4th, or this year's, it's May 5th through the 9th. So just as a reminder. And as a side note, I do know a proclamation I believe has been submitted to the state of Indiana to see if Indiana will recognize the week as well. So.
Moving on to old business.
So grinding municipal discussion. This has been on the board. This has been our discussion. We've been evaluating the cost of possibly acquiring a new piece of equipment. Steve and Chuck have been looking at this. We've priced out. I've actually met with Vermeer. One of the pieces of equipment, a new piece of equipment is over $1 million easily. So Steve and I have shocking numbers we don't fully want to share yet because they're not fully complete, because they're easily into the $2 to $3 million in taking on grinding, because there was more than one piece of equipment. There's two pieces of equipment that would need to handle it. And then Friday, Steve, was that Friday I sent it to you? A local solid waste district, Northeast County, literally just told us they have a grinder for sale that's in pretty good shape. They shared it with all the solid waste districts. An older model of the same that we'd be looking at. So Steve and I wanted to reach out to them and see if we can go see the piece of equipment just to get an idea. What's the use? Why are they getting a new one? What's happening? So it's still a work in progress, but there's some big dollars, a lot more money involved than I originally anticipated. So.
Okay. What about the conversation with municipalities? And
we did have a conversation. We are looking, we had that conversation in December. Many of them were telling us to look into it. They would love to work with us and figure out how we can make this happen. So we've just been trying to put all the numbers together to figure out what would this cost be. Would it be a cost savings if the district took on grinding? You know, we had that discussion. If we had to buy the equipment, there could be another employee, benefits included. You know, we're trying to evaluate storage, insurance costs, hauling this piece of equipment. So,
would you please just to remind everybody what the current agreement is with each municipality?
Of course. So we have it with each different site. So for instance, with Valparaiso, what happens is the material that comes in is tracked from the Porter County for all residents, and then the city, municipal, and park trucks. So that material is collected and tracked, and then we equally divide that. So I'm just going to do basic math, and let's say the bill, let's just say $100,000 the bill was. So immediately we would split that in half. So Valpo would pay 50, and the district would pay 50. Well, on top of that, the district has an agreement that we will also supplement the city $40,000 to offset their grinding cost. Therefore, of that $100,000 bill, we would pay $90,000, and the city would only pay $10,000. So we have a very similar agreement with the town of Portage as well. We track the material that comes in and we do the same divide, and Portage also gets $40,000. So Boone Grove is the district site, so we pay everything for the district. And then Chesterton has what's called a municipal restricted site. That just means the town collects everything, and then our agreement with the town of Chesterton is we pay $20,000 regardless what their bill is, because it's all of their material. So
And Clay, how long has this agreement been in place? Well before I ever got him.
Have that up here,
Okay.
the document.
Yeah.
2019
But at any rate,
Yeah.
or 2019.
Say before.
It was before I.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it was before I started. So
the reason that we're having this conversation is we felt like this has been going on for a while. We don't know if this is a formula that we want to continue into the future. We just wanted to open up the discussion to see what would make the most amount of sense.
Mhm.
This is getting expensive.
Fair.
And the other thing is I wanted to ask you too is what if at some point in time we just can't afford to do grinding anymore? What happens then? What happens if we get to that point?
we would have to have a major discussion. I will also tell you that what Chuck and Steve both told me on Monday, I'm still in shock. If you remember Monday, we were having that crazy blizzard snowstorm. They had to bring up a piece of equipment. Well, the piece of equipment was there, and move all of the brush because of the amount of material that came in on Saturday. The branches were all the way out to the recycling bins, our 7-8 yard containers that are out there.
Wow.
The material was that far out. They had to bring the payloader out to move that material, just because there's so much material already.
And I also want to remind everybody too, even if we get a piece of equipment, we still have to haul it. We still have to pay to
Absolutely.
have it hauled away, and that is another big expense.
Which we've been evaluating and looking. I mean, pie in the sky. Steve and I've had even several discussions. What happened if the district had to buy a semi? I mean, just throwing things out. Okay, are we the ones who now have to the materials loaded into our semi and we then haul it to the site? That would be a staff member that we would already have, or maybe this is a staff member we already have on staff. So that reduces the cost. When you look at it that way, we own the piece of equipment. Now we have to pay the drop material, take it to a clean fill, not hire a company to bring it and do it that way.
So let me ask you this and ask Clay this also. Let's say that we can't afford to do it anymore, and we tell Valpo you're going to have to do your own grinding. We tell Portage you're going to have to do your own grinding. Chesterton, you're going to have to do your own grinding. What responsibility do we have to do grinding?
When you say we, you mean this board, I guess none, but when you say we as a county commissioner, an unincorporated
Mm-hmm.
county,
I understand that.
have-
I'm talking about the municipalities. Do we have a responsibility to do the grinding for the city of Valparaiso, the city of Portage, and the town of Chesterton? Do we have a responsibility for that?
not without this agreement. I think
Okay.
just a,
Okay.
cooperation, local government cooperation.
I would also
I'm just wondering. I'm
Sure.
I'm not being critical or anything. I'm just asking questions so that
I know.
we as a board understand. Okay, coming up.
I was also going to say, I know in the past, Steve and I have had this discussion that the company, when they come out to do grinding at multiple sites, they reduce the cost because of having their large equipment out here. The cost for those to bring a super load, the DOT permits, all of the things that their equipment is. So they do a cost reduction. I think last year they estimated it would be like an additional $10,000 to $12,000 per
$1,000
per municipality
if each
per site.
unit hired them independently. So it would cost another $30,000-$40,000 if everybody did it themselves instead of working as a team.
Yeah.
And also, when you look at the volumes, you're looking at 60 to 70,000 cubic yards of material a year that we grind and haul in one, either distribute it or haul it away because we don't have the real estate to handle it all.
We're not at a crisis stage yet, but it's just a matter of having the conversation so that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be very truthful, another discussion that keeps coming up in the past 2 weeks is another perfect example to discuss it. We're having tornadoes coming through still while we're still in a winter season. Our south of us was hit with a horrible tornado. I know employees who work for the county who were very close to being near that tornado. Where does that brush go? So many times, I mean, that's a storm and that's a different emergency debris, but it's something we do need to be prepared to handle because the reality is we're having a lot of storms and we're bringing in a lot of brush. We probably brought in more brush already this year. Actually, on the agenda soon, you'll see we already have the grinding request proposal because we're ready to start getting quotes because we need to start grinding this material. It's filling up our sites. So, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Next, generator.
I think the generator, as we heard before, there's some works from the city of Portage told us to hang tight because there might be some opportunity to connect for power, and I think we're still being told to wait, so we're still on hold. So
Well, that would be a very elegant solution.
that'd be amazing. It would be great. So
Okay, Jane.
take 3. You guys are so excited to hear about this
So
cloud proposal.
we've gone over this a few times. I know some of you haven't been here. So we're just looking to upgrade our accounting software. Recently, the company that we provides our software now, Voice Systems, was bought out by a company in Michigan called BS&A. They have an established cloud software that they're looking really to get everyone to transition to. So we're looking to go into that. It would increase our cost. We did appropriate, in anticipation of this, we did appropriate more money in our budget this year for this. And just, I don't know if Ellen can pull up my little slideshow I wouldn't say it's necessary that we upgrade. Of course, we could still continue to use the software we have now, but this would just provide so many advantages to us. In addition, the software we're currently using, they said they're just going to provide like kind of basic updates. They're not going to do any enhancements to our current software. So the longer we use it, the more kind of obsolete it's going to be, just based on them not providing any enhancements to that current software. So so this is just a few words that's accessible. It's of course in the cloud, so we can use it from anywhere. It's efficient. A lot of the processes in this new cloud software are a lot more streamlined. It's a lot easier. You don't have to do as many steps to get things done. It's customizable. You can customize. This is kind of their dashboard that you can customize. You can customize reports. It's just, you can really do a lot with this software to get things to where, like right now we run reports and you kind of like have to go through, and every time you run it, you have to like check all these boxes to get the right report. In this, you can just like save it. You can save it as a monthly report that you're going to run every month, and you just put print, and it just prints what you want instead of every time going. So that's just an example of how customizable it is, and it's secure. It's on the cloud. Right now, our software is on the county server, which I know is also secure, but we also paid for a cloud backup with our current software. And I also
secure. We also have a additional surge protector just to cover those computers that have access to it. So if there is a power surge in the building, we don't lose our.
And like weekly, I back up I put our backups like on an external hard drive. Before we do like year end, I'm putting things on like USB drives to just have that data. And then this is just another screenshot from the cloud software. So this is just like kind of another way you can customize your data there. You can see like, what is this, the budget? So like they wanted expenditures with 75% spent or 70% spent. So it's just a really good way to see this data, like at a glance, kind of you can say, oh, okay, these accounts. And whereas if you go to the next screen, this is kind of what we're working with now in our software.
Can you scroll?
You have that, Ellen? One more. So this is what we use now. So you can, there's no visualization with what we currently use. You can of course export this data to Excel and make your own dashboard. outside of the system. But so say I wanted to know like insurance, like what we spent this year, I'd have to like find the account, open that, go to the screen, and see like the numbers there and find the right numbers in the boxes. And then even to get, I guess I could calculate the percent, but then to get like the percent, I'd have to run a appropriation report, and it's just like a line item on there. And of course, it's all separate. There's no like conglomeration of data to kind of visualize things. So, and I have talked to other places that have already switched to the cloud. I know Lake County just got approved, their solid waste district just got approved to switch over. The town of Akron, they were kind of one of the first adopters of this cloud software, and she sent me this long email about all the advantages of it. Just how it's so more efficient, the integration between the modules. Like right now, our payroll and our financial accounting softwares are separate, so I'm having to transfer data over, which is a lot of extra steps. When I run payroll, I have to, some of it's done automatically, some of it's done manually. Like I'm creating manual entries in our financial software for the payroll data that we do in payroll. So and just it's more efficient. We'll have a whole payroll module that employees will have their own kind of access to, where they can look up their old pay stubs. They can look up PTO time. I think you can even request PTO time through it. Right now we do paper pay timesheets, but we could even, if we want to switch to electronic timekeeping within the software, we could do that as well. So it's just, there's a lot of advantages, and I know it's not 100% necessary at this point. BSNA is waiving a $30,000 migration fee through June, so there is kind of a deadline for adopting this. I'm not sure if they'll reopen that in the future to waive that fee, but they've told us it's just waived through June, the fee. And we did look into another option, LAO, which the county uses, and that we would be paying a data transfer fee. The cost is similar, like the annual fee of LAO is similar to the cloud accounting software. However, we do have contractors that we invoice at our sites, and LAO does not have an accounts receivable kind of module, so we would be doing all of that outside of the software, which is pretty much, that would add a lot of additional work. Yeah, and I talked to Monroe County, and she told me that yes, that's how they do it. They do their invoicing outside of, she like tracks the invoices, the payments, all on an Excel spreadsheet outside of the accounting software.
Clay,
So,
did you have a chance to look at the contract?
I did.
Do you see any issues with? Yeah. Were you able to talk to the auditor's office to see if there's anything that looks weird about this?
I did not have a note to talk to the auditors.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Curious if you.
No, we talked to more solid waste districts. I know there were a couple of things originally in the first contract that Clay told us to change, and they did change.
Okay.
They did remove the renewable line, which surprised me. So I think we're in pretty good shape for, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess currently we don't. Do you mean like the integration between our data with the auditor's office? I mean, right now we use a separate software.
Okay.
And I guess the way we work together is through Gateway. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have the forms that for our budget, we give them the form, and they're able to put that in the system.
Yeah, that's always where the budget appeared, because we have such a different system than. But we do it through Gateway, which is the universal system the auditor's office and the districts have to use. So
okay, good. Well, do we have a motion to approve switching over to the voice cloud financial accounting software?
I make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the voice cloud financial accounting software. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Biz.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think this. Well,
good. And then even if we could have it on a laptop at our board meetings. Well, let's see what our budget looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Project. It's just it'll be a huge.
Yeah.
A lot of advantage for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Alrighty. New biz.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, we found a contractor who will repurpose paint. And this is the American Paint Recycler, a company. They're out of Ohio, and they gave us a handful of different quotes. The quotes that seem the most feasible that we're looking at is they would bring in a semi, they will bring in 4 employees, and what we're going to do is have a separate paint collection. We've got it scheduled, I want to say for 10/17, for October 17th, and they're going to come in and they'll collect all the paint. We have a separate for a cost of, I want to say it's $7,900 for that whole event. So like I said, if we had all the we had six collections last year of paint, and we spent $50,000. This is already less than that. So we're excited to try them out. Lake County has tried them out, other solid waste districts, and they have had great reviews of this company. And I think it was asked earlier, this is made into an eco-tone paint. That is what it is called. So
Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the paint recycling.
Do you have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve paint recycling with American Paint Recyclers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we have food waste agreements.
So in January, I think we were telling you we were exploring working with Chesterton, the town of Chesterton, and we have since met with them. I'm quite excited to hear, so I'll give you the overview and then you can go individually. But what we agreed upon, we met with the Chesterton Parks Department, and what has evolved was the town of Chesterton at their street department is allowing us to create a 24/7 drop-off location.
Wow.
And that material, our food waste worker, Joe, who wasn't here and we didn't introduce you to him, will pick that up once a week, and we'll take it to a 300 square foot location on the Chesterton Parks site, which is about a couple miles away. So these are the agreements. We were excited. We talked to them. They gave us some ideas, and I sent the lease agreement and said, does this look, could you have your legal team review it? And Tyler from the Parks Department said our board already approved it, Carrie. I was like, oh, okay. So,
So we have 2 things we need to approve them. Explain.
yes. One's for the park, yeah.
So, do we have a motion to approve the Chesterton Parks food waste agreement?
I make a motion to approve.
Do you have a second?
I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Chesterton Parks food waste agreement. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have up next the Town of Chesterton food waste agreement. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the food waste agreement for the Town of Chesterton. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Grinding request.
So this is what I was referencing the board. Usually what I bring to you early mid-spring is our request to go seek bids for the 4 compost sites. So what we're looking at is we would like to release our bid tomorrow, our request for quotes, excuse me. We would have our pre-bid meeting on Wednesday, April 8th, where we meet with the contractors and they travel to all of the sites. They do their measurements, and then we have a public meeting actually in the side chambers on April 22nd, and the bids are dropped off in our office that morning, and then about 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later, we come down here and open them as a public meeting. We've been doing that in the past couple years. So this is just our proposal. We'd like to approval from the board to move forward with.
Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve going out to quote for the grinding. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Payloader rental agreement.
As you know, last year our exciting Trammel arrived, and we rented a second payloader to assist with the screening process. We learned the machine we received last year was great, but it wasn't great for what we needed to do. We did know we needed a second. We knew we were going to need a quote for this year, so this is a payloader quote. We're estimating it to be delivered May 1st. It's a higher model. It has a higher lift bucket, so what we realized was we needed an extension. Correct, Steve? Extension? He kept giving me the technical term. It's an extension. And then also for poor Chuck, sitting in a payloader for 8 hours. So Chuck's very tall and it hits your knee right on the corner. So this model provides a little more room for him to not hit his knee when he uses that payloader. So we were able to get it, if you will look, we were able to get it as a $5,100 quote for the month. As what happened in the past, there's a $650 delivery fee when it comes in May, and then when they haul it out, usually in November, they will, November, December, there will be a $650 pickup fee. So right now we need approval from the board to move forward with the $5,100 quote for the year. So
And if I may, let the minutes reflect that Commissioner Biggs is now in attendance.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion to approve the payloader rental agreement?
I make a motion.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the payloader rental agreement. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Travel screen schedule.
Yep. So you have a travel screen. This was requested of us. As the weather, those of you in January, we discussed that Portage had some water at their site. So their site has not been screened yet. This is just our current tentative schedule we're looking at. We're looking to have the screener at Portage in May. The plan is to keep it in June at Valpo, and then July, August will be at the Chesterton Crocker site. And then the intent is to take it back to Portage or Valpo in September to do the fall, starting with the leaves. Now, I will tell you this is completely tentative, as we've seen snow this week, and I understand 60 degrees is coming in the next couple days. So the material has to have a component of a little bit of dryness. It screens better. The wetter it is, the more inefficient it is. So this probably will be adjusted. So.
Okay. Baylor for net trucks. Next trucks.
So this past year, this is going to end up having to be tabled to the next meeting because we didn't get all of the information. We keep trying, but so you know, we are collecting plastic bags, and the company that was taking them through the city of Valparaiso has ceased collection. They won't take them anymore. Okay. There is a program through Next Trucks that works with municipalities and grassroots effort. We are considered that will actually provide us a baler. So they will provide to the district for free a baler where we can collect them, bale them. They will then send a semi to pick up our collected plastic bags. And in essence, what they're doing isn't they would pay us, but they're going to pay it as a credit towards the baler. The baler is estimated to be about $16,000 to $18,000. Once that payment is fully made on, we then would start accepting, they would give us checks, in essence, payment for the plastic bags. Where our dilemma is when they share this program, they tell you the different electricity phases that we can do. We've talked with the city of Valparaiso. They have verbally allowed us, have agreed as a verbal that they would let us set up a baler at the Valpo compost site within one of the bays. The dilemma is Next Trucks came back and goes, oh yeah, by the way, the only one we have for you right now is a 3-phase power. For those of you who know anything about 3-phase power, we are not prepared to have 3-phase power. So we're trying to find out, there have been so many phone calls back and forth of what is happening, even the cost to have 3-phase. Can we even handle 3 phases or a transformer even close enough by that would deliver it? So there's a lot of what was a very exciting, hey, we're going to move forward and do this, now just up in the air with lots of, we need to. So it's being tabled to the next meeting.
Okay, next item.
Okay, so this is an interesting request I had at the garden show. This Brian, and I apologize, I don't think I asked him, I invited him to come to our meeting. I do not even know how to pronounce his last name, but he is a artist from our area. He is a woodworker, and he came up to me and asked, at the compost sites, we have rules that do not allow chainsaws, any form of liability where somebody can get hurt. And he asked if he could sign off on an agreement that we would permit him to come before hours or after hours to cut one of the logs, so he could cut, haul it away, and then actually do his amazing work. And this actually, in the email I did post, this was a piece of wood he took from our Valpo compost site, and it is actually on display at the Midwest Museum of Art. And I believe it's called the Beehive. So he was just seeking permission of, what could he do? Could he sign off on a waiver? What could he do? And I sent it to Clay, and we had a discussion, and we sent it to the city of Valpo, and it was pretty much agreed that both of the boards needed to make a decision. So that
The Valparaiso board made a decision yet?
they have not made. I reached out to Steve Poulos again. I'm actually on their agenda next week for tire amnesty, but I've asked to see if it needs to go on there as well. So
It's amazing work.
yeah, it's beautiful. So
And
Clay,
all it,
Clay, what was your opinion as far as any liability you would take on it if we allowed him to?
I mean, without a waiver signed by him, I mean, I don't think it's a good idea to just let people show up, whether it's city property or recycling district property, or it's kind of we're using the city's property to have materials dumped, to just show up with, chainsaws and start cutting away.
yeah.
I don't think it's something that we want to.
Well, we definitely want a waiver. The thing is, he's not doing this work on site. He's just taking a chainsaw to cut a chunk,
And I guess
and he's taking the chunk with him and doing the work at his shop.
what I guess I don't understand logistically is, why is the piece so big that it's being brought in that it can't be brought out?
it was probably brought in from a county highway.
Yeah.
Off of a large
Yeah, and I don't
dump truck.
know what type of vehicle he has, or the ability to take it from the ground or the pile and load it up in the back of his
Correct.
vehicle or truck. And there could be bigger logs
Mhm.
or pieces of wood that he needs to reduce the size and the weight in order
To transport it out.
to lift it into his vehicle and transport it out.
Yeah.
But that was my concern. So none of the artistry is being done
Right.
on site. He's just making a cut or two to get it down to size.
Correct. Mhm. I did have a different liability approach from it too. I would invite all of you to come out to that log pile. That log pile, 15 feet high, Steve? Chuck? 15, 20 feet high? I mean, it's at least 15 feet high. So
Well, I don't even know how he's going to sort through that because
correct.
they're so freaking heavy. I don't even know how he's.
Or if you stand, my concern was if one stands, one shifts, and there are a lot of different liability.
That was
Because
part of my concern
Mhm.
too. And he's just not going to see a log and take one cut and like, okay, I'm done. He might be searching through the bin, if you will, like you're looking for the best tomato.
But it's not like he can search through the pile. Those things are so huge.
But that's what I mean. It's not. He's going to have, in order to search,
Yeah.
he's going to have to do multiple cuts on multiple things.
Sure.
But that's not a problem in terms of doing for further processing later on if those things are cut up. That's not the. But we're just concerned about the liability, right?
Yeah.
And do you think that if he signed a waiver, that would eliminate our liability?
Anybody can sue anybody else for any reason. That doesn't mean that he's going to win or we're going to win, but it just provides that extra layer of protection for us if he is signing that document and acknowledging his liability in his own actions.
Okay.
And
What-
of course, if the board did decide, he'd have to produce insurance.
Yeah.
Himself. I mean,
I thought we put that in there. Did we put that in the?
We haven't really discussed much. We haven't put a layer. The only really discussion we had was we needed to get consent from both boards, from Valpo to what the district would like to do.
And
So,
commission
yeah.
could definitely have that in the terms that he would have
Mhm.
to provide
Sure.
a certificate of insurance, naming the district as
Yeah.
insured for these activities.
Probably the city of Valparaiso as well. I know, like for when we bring contractors to our site, they'll have to send us a certificate of liability showing they have their proof of insurance to both the district, actually to the city of Portage, the city of Valparaiso, to cover all of our sites. So
And it sounded like he was just going to do one piece at a time, right?
yeah, that's what it sounds like. He approached me at the garden show trying to actually, I think Nora met him as well. Nora was working our booth, and that's when he had direct questions about this. So
What about, would a staff member have to be there or not for him to
I
prevent from like just
someone has to be there if he's
Sure.
doing this after, at after hours or towards the end of the day when the
it
public.
suggested, would it be something that's, the site's open from 8 to 5 now? Would it be something that he could come up at 7 a.m. before really the public come in and there are already staff on site? Or, I mean, I also think, as you're mentioning, we don't own a grapple truck. A grapple truck is the truck with the big crane on it. That's a piece of, there could be a lot of equipment involved, and yeah.
But we're not going to use our equipment. We're not going to use our staff. This is totally on him.
Yeah, correct.
The only staffing cost I think would be to have someone there before regular hours,
Sure.
after regular hours. So
But we don't want to have extra staff there just so he can come and use.
Well, I will say the city of Valpo does open the site at 7 a.m. So,
Do they have somebody?
Yeah, they would have somebody up there, but still, that would be a staffing issue.
Well, I think as long as it doesn't cost us anything, and as long as there's staff present either on our side or on Valpo's side, just in case something would happen.
Sure.
I don't want this guy bleeding out.
We just did stop the bleed training.
I think that would be a hard bleed.
No, sorry.
I think
I agree.
so. You might be able to stop it. I don't think those of us who just, Okay, so what's the board's pleasure? What do we want to do?
Well, Barb, I think that unless Clay's already done it, to review our insurance and to make sure we're not, about to okay something that they themselves, wouldn't cover us if something happened. Because as you touched on, you can sue a ham sandwich. It doesn't matter. So, I mean, if you would, I'd feel better about it if, to make sure that we weren't violating any portion of our own, because this is not a staff member, of any type, not under contract.
No.
So
Do we have a motion then to table this until we get more information?
I'll make the motion to table it.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table the request for a waiver to do limited chainsaw work at the Valparaiso compost site. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Pose same sign. Motion carries. Okay, grants.
Just a quick update to let the board know, 2 grants we were recipients for. So we applied. We're going to be expanding our sharps collection at the Portage Health Department. At this time, we were only at 1 bin. We're going to be up to 3 bins. They're getting regularly collected. And then also this annual year for 2026, we received the $10,000 IDEM reimbursement tire grant. So just another continuation. The paperwork's in process, but we have been recipient for both.
Okay. Next.
Finally, the CAC. Whoops.
Oh,
All yours, Cassie.
well, we've had one meeting so far. As a new CAC, we're really excited to welcome Toya, Nora, and Nicole. I think the energy in that first is really promising. I read each of their applications as well, and I think it's a very diverse, it's just well-acquainted group to be working together. So we're really excited to welcome them. We spent time at our first meeting just kind of going over general rules, regulations, oriented to the CAC, and kind of the work that we do. Customarily, the past few years I've been involved, the CAC has been more of an action-oriented group, and so we're excited to hear the ideas of our new members and also just continue with some of the work that we were doing last year. You may be familiar with our community grant, micro grant program that we've been working on. We wanted to give time to our new members to kind of review that program since it was kind of the brainchild of our last CAC, and we've had a little bit of turnover of those members. So we were kind of reviewing that document, sending the document link to our new members so they can review it and offer feedback for that. we were going over some of the minute details with that micro grant program, making sure that because it's going to be new, there's going to be a lot to iron out and learn as we push it out. But being sure that we cover our bases as much as we can before we do roll it out, I think was a wise choice to kind of push that a little bit. So let's see. With that, I think there was talks about making our new goal to push it out at and having a table available to maybe like even a QR code where we can gauge interest of the community, begin to advertise it. We'll also use our social media accounts, the email list from the district to be able to advertise for that and hopefully start collecting applications. Let's see. Some of the little things that we were going over was just like timing, how long we're going to keep the application available for. Do we offer our lump sum amount? Do we promise a certain amount if we're given an in-kind match from that group? So just getting feedback from all of our members before we have all the applications and have to make all those decisions and get lots of questions. So yeah. Let's see, what else? We also have thrown out the idea of a possible film fest. There was, and maybe Walt, you can speak to the film. It's what's it called? It's the plastic one. What's it called, Walt?
The story of plastic.
Yeah, the story of plastic. Okay, so it's a really very inspirational. It's very informative. We've discussed plastic, and we had Julie Peller come and a talk last year at one of our meetings, and there was kind of a push to what can as a board to kind of get this information out. And the idea of showing that film was an idea that our CAC kind of has thrown out. We were going to contact some county organizations. We were talking potentially like County Park, Sunset, and so that is a project we are kind of working through and brainstorming on as well. Yeah. Anyone else from the CAC have anything to add, or am I missing, or questions from the board?
At this time of the year, typically we ask the board members if they have any ideas of things that they would like the CAC to consider looking at.
Yeah.
And I just want to open it up to the board members right now to see, do you have any ideas of things that you would like for us to take a look at?
I think I mentioned this before with you, the film about reaching out to the parks, like Portage has Founder Square. Do it at a community thing. Same thing right down here, you know.
Great to have it in this room and for Valpo people and have as many as another showing for the Portage people. Incredible movies. I'm 10 years old. By the time the movie's over, people are just completely convinced to respond to plastic waste. Because of the impact on your health as well as how much damage it's doing to the environment. And it covers plastic bags. Jim is well aware has been one of his pet peeves going back 8 years now. But it does give some pointers about how you can impact legislation to control plastic waste of all kinds, plastic bottles.
Well, I will challenge the CAC again this year, like I did last year. I would really like for us to come up with something that we as a board can commit to, something that's achievable, not something that's so big that we don't even want to look at it, but something that we collectively can do as a board and CAC together jointly. And because when you get little successes under your belt and you build on that, then you can start graduating into bigger things as well.
Yeah.
I would also suggest to reach out the marinas in Portage, Isaac Walton, the Marquette Yacht Club, and I'm sure all of them would be interested in helping with in some way.
Yeah, I think it'd be great if we were able to touch on all of the major cities, towns in our town. Kind of make it a traveling film fest of sorts.
The libraries, our youth.
We did a last year. We kind of did a brainstorming session. That's where we came up with the community grant project idea. So I could foresee us doing that at our next meeting too. Definitely don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I know the community grant project is something that will be new for this group. Just it's been kind of a brainstorming year and now an actual like pushing it out, reviewing applications, learning year too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. One idea, this may be a very large topic that I was thinking about because I know you've brought up the idea too, and we were just talking about the paint collection. So stop me if this is like too big of an idea to even broach at this time. But you had brought up for Barb the concept of like pay for service for like the compost. And then I overheard you, Carrie, saying something along the lines of like people were willing to pay for you to take the paint. I'm sure it's been a topic that's been discussed within the district, but kind of those pay as you throw, pay as you use type systems, maybe exploring what that could look like. I know we have a direct service fee for all of our Porter County residents that pay a flat rate to use the services. But what would it look like, or what would be the acceptability of our citizens to pay for those extra services or offer, even if it was $1 a paint can? You know, that's some.
Yeah. So many
possibly, but I mean, if people are saying that, and we're having trucks lining up at the compost site, and it's very valuable to them, would there be a dollar amount that they'd be able to contribute towards that?
Well, another thing too is, and I don't know what the answer might be, but maybe your board could look at it. Is it's so expensive for us to haul the grindings away.
Yeah.
After we grind, and I'm just wondering if we can find a market for that where somebody would come and pick it up, and then we don't have to pay to have it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
A group of woodworking artists maybe would.
Well, I mean, when they grind it, it's
it'll already be to probably a 2 to 4 inch, less than a 6-inch size. They usually just do a massive grind for hauling, so it's
right.
But
somebody maybe would have an interest in taking and then grinding it finer and then selling it, something like that.
It's 6. That's what I thought was the initial grind is 6 inches. So yeah. So we have a second grind happen to 2 inches, so the residents can put the material on their yard for the mold that we keep. So,
Greg, did you have anything that you wanted to?
No, but Walt, was it the film you're talking about? Was that the one? Was at VU a while back?
Yes.
Okay.
Couple, but that was the one. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
VU.
Okay. I can offer something for that because I'm sure you don't have a screen in mind to put this show on outside.
Oh yeah.
I've got a 6 foot by 10 foot double-sided mobile billboard.
Oh.
That will show movies.
Wow.
So I will offer that for the.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I know at Portage Founders they'll actually have movie night for the kids.
Yeah.
And so I know they would have a screen too for if it was for reaching out to the schools. I know many of them have environmental classes where students use that for part of their learning.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of avenues that we can definitely research and explore. These are great ideas.
Go ahead.
Can I just give one point on Cassie's, the pay per service? So we accept, I don't know if you all are aware, businesses also pay the $20 user fee, and we accept things from businesses. And of course, a business is going to be a much higher, things like light bulbs. They're obviously not going to come take compost like an office building, but we do accept things like light bulbs from them that are getting to be quite expensive to dispose of. So that's an idea. And if you look at our user fee breakdown, the percentage that we get from businesses is really very small. The majority of our user fees come from residents. So that's one thing. If I don't know if you maybe want to take that angle, somehow get businesses to, for example, VU, I know they have multiple buildings that they do pay the $20 user fee on, but we get thousands of light bulbs from them for disposal, and it's just
it's
$70 a bulb.
No,
$20
a building
per year fee, but we don't have a limit on what they can bring to our sites because
they pay the user.
The way our user fee is written, if you pay the user fee, you're able to access our services.
And so I think we looked this up before, but I know in the past VU has brought in over 1,000 light bulbs. One carton of light bulbs, and a carton holds 40 about 40 bulbs is $75. So if they've brought in 1,000 light bulbs, we've spent a lot more money than they've paid in their user fee. So we have discussed this. Other solid waste districts do they charge for large televisions. They charge for, they have a lot, there's a variety of services and fees, batteries, light bulbs are very common. I'm trying to think of the different, even some of the hazardous waste. Unfortunately, our hazardous waste would be incredibly challenging to charge when we're doing that too, because it's a portable site. Many of these locations also have a year-round site, so when they come through, and then it's just on a Tuesday, so you're not going to have 100 carts lined up to get rid of the material. So it is something certainly to address. It's another revenue line as well. So.
Well, do you want?
I think it's relevant too to point out that unlike other property owners, the university is not paying a waste and recycling tax.
They do the $20. Yep, they $20 user fee, not a tax.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh,
I'm talking about the tax that we're all taxed every year. They don't pay that.
Our user fee or a different tax. I don't know of the.
But we have our own rate, correct?
Right, that's the user fee. So they are charged the $20 user fee.
Well, can you create a little committee then, and to just take a look at this and maybe run it past Clay just to see what things we can.
Different charges or, for different charges and different fees.
Yeah.
One of the
So in the case of those light bulbs, that seems significant. And
Well, even for example, the hospital one time gave us an enormous amount of batteries that were quite expensive.
Yeah.
It's just certain things that we can't turn them away because the way we're structured, we can't.
Yeah.
They're paying our fee that we have established, so we can't.
Right.
We don't have any other fee structure.
Yeah.
So if we could create a committee and anything that you come up with, run it past Clay, and then bring it back to our next meeting so that we can look at some ideas in that regard.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Structure of that
Agreed.
charging for that kind of effort.
Right. I think just separating business is a huge
When
savings for us.
Yeah.
I think
To charge them per use or per disposal.
Because what would be really bad is if we have to raise the user fee for everybody for people who are using a disproportionate amount of our services.
Right.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, I know we did bring the light bulb to the board a couple years ago, so we'll address all the fees.
Okay.
Look at from the solid waste districts with other locations charge as well.
Okay. And then Walt, did you want to mention about the debate?
We have to. This room was packed. I don't know if it's quite standing, but it was certainly full. We did have some people stand, but this was the 17th annual high school environmental debate. Most of the debates have been between Valparaiso and Chesterton. The very first one, 17 years ago, I was drawn into because I had driving electric vehicles, and the state police, the county police, local. There were a lot of issues regarding electric cars or electric vehicles, and I had read about the Chesterton High School had these incredible accolades. They had won national awards and many state awards for the debate team. I called the coach and said, "Do you think that your students might be interested in debating electric versus gasoline cars?" And they just immediately fell in love with the idea. And the first debate was held upstairs in a small room, and things kind of grew and grew. Last year, the debate was very relevant to this group because Dr. Peller recommended that we debate fast fashion, and which is like throwaway clothes. And initially, I didn't think much of it, but the more I read about it, it became really a hot topic nationally and internationally. And it was interesting that the two teams were really able to argue in favor of it and against it. The teams don't necessarily believe what they're. It's kind of like an attorney, defense attorney, or prosecutor. They don't necessarily believe in their side, so to speak, but their goal is to win the debate. And it's incredible how one of the things that I like, and one of the reasons that the debate has grown in popularity, is that the students do not insult one another. It's not like local politicians. It just goes on and on. It's at state level, national. Not so much in this room at city council. It's happened many, many times where if they don't like what someone's saying, part of the debate is you call the person names or insult their appearance. And that's very common with the so-called adults. But these children, these teenagers, are acting far more adult-like, and they are polite and measured in comments. I can remember a city council meeting where I was attacked because I was an environmentalist, and Don Hovey, who was in charge of our Valparaiso Street Department, called me a radical communist who was out to destroy the country. And it's interesting, the reason he called me that is that I proposed that the city of Valparaiso have a recycling program. And this is a long time ago. And he was angry. He thought that all his street department people would be laid off for some reason. The students usually will argue against one another. And arguing is not necessarily a bad term. They would literally argue, but without ever saying anything about someone's appearance or race or ethnicity or anything like that. They just argue about the topic. And it's okay for them to show a little bit of anger, but it's not what the person said. You never attack the person. This year, the coaches and I chose the topic of data centers. It seems to be such an obvious one because it's a hot topic nationally and locally. You probably know some 8 data centers have been approved in Lake County. There's a lot of debate about whether we may have them here in Porter County. So the students addressed that and spent a lot of detail. And again, these were not science students or environmentalists. They were just excellent debaters, and they had done an enormous amount of research. And then after the debate, the entire crowd, almost the whole crowd, moved next door to Greek's Pizza, where we had a question and answer session. So the parents, the students, the coaches, the audience was invited to fire questions at them and ask them kind of debate back and forth and make announcements about other environmental issues that were relevant to data centers, especially the use of water and use of electricity. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, I could tell you a lot of other things too, but that's about all I can think of that's specific to this organization. And it's also a lot of fun. The students really love it, and all of their debates and all of their big trials are occurring just with a judge and maybe 1 or 2 other people that are judging the debate. Never get an opportunity to speak in public except for this once-a-year debate. So they really enjoy doing it. And the press was here. And, I haven't seen it. I understand there's front page articles in both newspapers, and that somebody said that the Northwest Indiana Times, which is the biggest, has the biggest circulation, that they have already chosen the debate as their story of the month or story of the week or something by the editor. So we're going to get a little publicity for the topic.
What I think is so great about a debate, not that you're fighting, but you're presenting one side and you're presenting another side, and then people get to hear everything, all of the information, rather than just hearing one side or the other. And I think it just opens up people's eyes. So that I really applaud you for doing that each year. I think that so many wins.
Get to think through the other side is going to be. Whereas if there's just, in fact, I can remember at City Council in Valpo that the Redevelopment Commission was calling me tree, as if I was going to be ashamed of that term or something. And I just stood up, well, I guess and said, yes, I love trees. And then they went to the term frog kisser. Call me the frog kisser. So it kind of reminds me of some of the things that are going on now at the national level. But they didn't do any of that. It's just completely forbidden.
Very professional.
You only argue to the point and address one another in the actual topic.
I would like to say thank you for working with our youth. I've worked with our youth for years, and it's like they always say that you're supposed to learn from your I do believe we learn through our youth, without a doubt,
Kids.
and hopefully learn from them, you know, with respect.
Yeah. And what a great opportunity for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a win-win-win all around. Okay, any other matters need to be presented to the board? Anybody miss anything? Did we miss anybody? Did we miss anything?
Two quick things. Steve just wanted to let everybody know there is still some compost that has been screened and available, but we have to limit it to 2 cubic yards. So we may share it amongst all. So everybody just doesn't come and take it off. So it's limited to a 2 cubic yard daily limit. And secondly, just so you know, tonight the Plastic Reduction Alliance is having a presentation on plastic, and I'm actually on their panel. And will be at NEO in Portage from 6 to 8 p.m. A discussion, I believe, city representatives from Gary, LaPorte, Porter County, and VU as well. So great.
We're going to tell them where Neo is.
Oh, NEO is I'm sorry, it's right off 6. It's the old bowling alley. So,
Yeah.
the old Camelot. So Camelot Lanes. 5201. How about this 5201 Highway 6? That's also one of our hazardous waste events is held this year too.
Okay, our next board meeting will be on May 14th, 2026 at 1:30 p.m.
Can I? Oh, that's fine. I just want to know. I know Thursdays have been a little bit of a challenge.
Yep.
Is it better to move this meeting, or does Thursday, May 14th, look like we can have a quorum? I know we had to move this meeting twice, so just inquiring what would work.
For work, because I do shift work, so I requested the 14th. So
The 14th, okay. I know. I don't think Greg. I don't think you. Yeah. Okay. So okay. I just wanted to ask that ahead of time, so everybody didn't have to. So I appreciate everybody making a great effort to change your schedules and make this work from the CAC members to the board members. So thank you.
And is that a joint CAC meeting?
No, just strictly a board meeting.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
thank you.
Oops. I'm sorry, Barb. I held this.
So thank you know, like all the paints.